Hello there. This video is designed to try to help with the homework on rates and determining rates. We want to recall that a rate is a comparison of two values with different units by division. And some examples that we've talked about before have been when you go to the gas station, they charge you by dollars per gallon. So there's two different units here. When you go to the store, in the deli section, they usually are charging by dollars per pound. When you drive down the road, you talk about how fast, the rate of how fast you go, as in miles per hour. So these are all rates. They're comparisons of two different units by division. We call them that. A fraction is showing division. So I'm going to go work through a couple of examples here in this video. Hopefully it'll be of help on homework. So here's our first example. Lotta Coin earned $100 in 8 hours. Find her rate of pay in dollars per hour. I'm going to pay close attention to the description of the rate, because that literally tells me how to set up. So when they say dollars per hour, I can literally write it as dollars per hour, shortened to dollars per hour. But that tells me where I need to put out my numbers. So the values I have in this problem, I'm going to put the 100 on top, I'm going to put the 8 on the bottom, and now I have a little division problem, because I know how much money she makes in 8 hours, but I want to know how much she makes in 1 hour. So let's just do this little division problem here. 100 divided by 8. 8 will go into 10 once. Do subtraction, bring down 0. 8 goes into 20 twice, and that's 16. Subtract, so I'm going to have to add a decimal point and bring it up. Add a 0. Oh, what am I saying? 20 minus 16 is 4, not 0. That's kind of silly. Bring down the 0. How many 8's going to 40? Well, 5 do. So 5 times 8 is 40. Ooh, and that ends. And since we're talking money here, dollars per hour, this is actually going to wind up being, so she makes $12.50 per hour. Sometimes you'll see it written like this, $12.50 per hour. Either way, it's telling you that she makes $12.50 in 1 hour. So there's her rate. Let's try one that's a little more involved. Excuse me while I move the camera. So let's see. In this problem here, a jet travels 1,875 miles in 5 hours. And it looks like I have a number of different rates to find. I need to find the miles per hour rate. That sounds normal. Miles per minute's a little different. And then minutes per mile, that sounds kind of strange. Let's deal with them one at a time. So in this problem here, I need to find miles per hour. That's what I'm being asked to find. And I know she travels 1,875 miles in 5 hours. So how much does he travel in 1 hour? Well, this is just a little division problem here. So I do 5 into 1,875. I can get 3 5s out of 18. 18 minus 15 is 3. Bring down the 7. I can get 7 5s out of 37. 7 times 5 is 35. Do the subtraction. 37 minus 35 is 2. Bring down the 5. I can get 5 5s out of 25. 5 times 5 is 25, and conveniently, that comes to an end. So what this is telling me is she travels 1,875 miles in 5 hours, which translates to the rate 375 miles in 1 hour. So that is her rate right there. And sure enough, that's what I have here as one of my answers. Now it's asking me in miles per minute. Now I know how much she travels I know she travels 375 miles in an hour, but that doesn't say exactly how much she travels in a minute. But I do know there's a connection between hours and minutes. And so what I want to do is, if I wanted this hours to cancel out, wouldn't it be convenient if there was hours on top? Now the question is how many minutes are in 1 hour? Well, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So I can see that these are going to, the hours will cancel out. And what I'm left with is 375 divided by 60. So my problem becomes 60 divided into 375. Well, if I multiply by 6, 6 times 6 is 360, or 6 times 60 is 360. I do this subtraction. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 6 is 1. Looks like I'm going to have to add a decimal, move it up, and add a 0 and bring it down. How many 60s can I get out of 150? Well, I get 2. 2 times 60 is 120. If I do that subtraction, I have 30 and I bring down one more 0. How many 60s can I get out of 300? Well, that's convenient. There's 5. 5 times 60 is 300. I do the subtraction. So what this is telling me, that 375 miles in 1 hour is the same thing as 6 25 miles in 1 minute. It's a different rate, but it's him traveling at the same rate that we started with, 1,875 miles in 5 hours. So this is how far he travels in 1 minute. Well, this was how far he travels in 1 hour. So the last one we have here, which is a little bit different way to think about it, is minutes per mile. So up here I'm traveling, my comparison is how long is something in a certain amount of time, right? Miles are length, minutes and hours are time. In this description, I'm being asked how much time goes by for 1 mile. Well, the one thing about it, this problem that's set up for us is, by doing the previous one, we notice this is miles per minute. Well, minutes per mile is just this flipped over. So knowing that 6 and 25 is simply 625 over 1, if I flip these over, this right here is simply going to be 1 over 6 and 25 minutes per mile. So by setting up the correct units, it shows me where to place things. So now I have 1 divided by 6 and 25 So what's that going to look like? So 6 and 25 into 1. Looks like I'm going to have to move it over twice before I can put in a decimal point. It looks like I'm going to have to add an additional 0. So I'm looking at 625. I can't get any to 100. But how many 625s can I get into 1,000? Well, I can get 1. 1 times 625, 625. Looks like I'm going to have to do a bunch of borrowing here. 10, that's 9. That'll be 9. So 10 minus is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 9 minus 6 is 3. If I add a 0. 625. Well, I believe 6 will work. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. Carry 1. 6 times 6 is 36. Plus 1 is 37. Well, that was convenient. So what this is saying, what it's saying is that this plane travels, it takes this much of a minute to travel 1 mile. So 1600ths of a minute, it's traveling 1 mile. 1600ths of a minute is, I don't even think that's less than 10 seconds. But this is our answer for our rate in minutes per mile. Convenience, one of the possible answers. I hope that helps. the things to remember most of all is to write out the units you're being asked to consider. Sometimes they're a little more convenient to think about. Miles per hour, that's a little more common. Minutes per mile is a little more awkward, but its meaning is how much time it takes to travel 1 mile. Miles per minute, how many miles can I go in 1 minute? And in the first one, how many miles do I go in 1 hour? I hope this helps.